Hi everyone, welcome to Majesty's House of Music. I'm Emmanuel. Please subscribe to my channel if you've never done so. Now, I know many of you have been playing songs on major scales, but maybe a few songs on minor scales, and you may not be familiar with the concept of minor scales and how to apply chords and chord progressions on minor scales. So I've put up together a full course on minor scales, kind of beginner to intermediate level, to introduce you to the chords on minor scales. And in that course, I've also included song examples, popular song examples that we sing in church to help you understand the concepts better. But today, the good news is that I'm going to post the first chapter of this course for free, just to introduce you to the concept so that you can know what to expect if you decide to order the full course. If you're interested to get the full minor scales course, I'll put the link to my website and my WhatsApp number and my email in the description below the video. You can just check on the website or get in touch with us, and we can guide you on how you can order the full course. But for now, let's have a look at the first chapter of the minor scales course. Watch up to the end and enjoy this. Hi, so welcome to this first chapter of this course on minor scales and harmonies that are related to the minor scales, okay? And through the series of this course, you'll be able to understand the kind of chords that are applied along minor scales. You see, just the way we usually talk about the diatonic chords in the major scale, okay? This is covered in the beginner's course, so if you haven't familiarized yourself with that, I encourage you to go through the beginner's course, the piano beginner's course, okay, where I cover the harmonies of the major scale. But now this is a little bit more advanced, and now we are looking at harmonies on minor scales, okay? And I believe that you've heard songs which are written on minor keys, okay? The sound is very distinct, huh? For example, that is a movement on C minor. So that's the unique sound of a minor scale. And one, just to break it down a little bit to really understand the harmonies that work on these minor keys, okay? So the first thing to do is to revisit a little bit on what the harmonies are on a major scale, and then now shift and now look at how we now think in terms of a minor scale. Moving away from the major scale to the minor scale. So let's look at a C major scale, okay? C, D, E, F, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So that's a C major scale, okay? And we say that the Nashville number system that gives us the numbers, the number system for the chords or the scale degrees is chord number 1 is a major chord, so that's C major. Chord number 2 is a minor chord, that's D minor. Chord number 3 is a minor chord, that is E minor. Chord number 4 is major, F major. Chord number 5 is major, G major. Chord number 6 is minor, so this is A minor. And then chord number 7 is a diminished chord, or sometimes it's played as a minor 7th flat 5. So what we have here is B minor 7th flat 5. So it is that B minor is B, D, F sharp, and A. But then we flatten the 5th, and F sharp is the 5 of B. So it's called a B minor flat 5. Okay. Or you can just use the B diminished. Okay. So if you think in terms of the extended harmonies, okay, chord number 1 is a major 7th chord, so that is C major 7th, okay? Chord number 2 is a minor 7th chord, D minor 7th. Chord number 3 is a minor 7th chord, E minor 7. Chord number 4 is a major 7, F major 7. Chord number 5 is a dominant 7th chord, G7 or G dominant 7. Chord number 6 is a minor 7th chord, that's a minor 7. Chord number 7 is, of course, the minor 7 flat 5. Okay. So now those are the harmonies of a major scale, for example, C major scale. And the same principle will apply in all the keys. Now, we are now focusing now on the minor scales. Okay, first of all, there are 3 categories of minor scales. The first type is what we call the natural minor scale. The second type is the harmonic minor scale. And the third type is the melodic minor scale. All the 3 scales are a little bit different and they all have different harmonies. So the natural minor scale, the harmonic minor scale, and the melodic minor scale. So first of all, let's look at the natural minor scale. Now, you can remember, if you have gone through my beginners, the first course, what I call the piano beginners course, we talked about a concept called the relative minor and the relative major. For example, in the key of C, the relative minor of C is the minor in the 6th position. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that A minor 7 is what we call the relative minor. Okay, that is the relative minor, the A minor 7. Because it is the minor in the 6th position of the scale. Okay? So A minor 7th is the relative minor of C major. And C major is the relative major of A minor 7. So they work interchangeably. This is the relative, A is the relative minor of C, and C is the relative major of A. Now, the natural minor scale is built up from the relative minor. What does it mean? If I want to play the A natural minor scale, I will play my notes from A to A using the notes of the C major scale. So it's just playing the C major scale using the 6th mode of the scale. And if you've looked a little bit into modes, this is usually called the Aeolian mode, the 6th mode of the major scale. So if I play all the notes of the C major scale, but starting from A, which is the 6th note, and ending with A, I'll have the natural minor. So the natural minor scale borrows the chords of the relative major, okay? So the A natural minor scale will be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So that's the A natural minor scale. So the fingering I'm using is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. So this is just a good place to begin with, playing that A natural minor scale, familiarizing yourself with the minor sound, okay? Let's take another example of the natural minor scale. For example, if I want to play a C natural minor scale, what I will do is I'll ask myself, what is the relative major of C? Okay. When I look at C being the natural minor, C is the 6th note of which major scale? Okay. So I quickly realize that C is the natural minor of E flat or D sharp. Because if I play the D sharp major scale, D sharp, F, G, G sharp, A sharp, C, D, D sharp. C is the relative minor because it is in the 6th position, okay? So that C minor 7th is the relative minor of D sharp major or E flat major. So if I want to play the C natural minor scale, I will just play the same notes of the D sharp major scale, but I'll start from C and end with C, okay? So I'll play C, D, D sharp, F, G, G sharp, A sharp, C. Backwards. Okay. So that is a C natural minor scale. Another example, for example, in the key of F sharp. Okay, F sharp. The F sharp major scale F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, F, F sharp. So what is the relative minor of F sharp? D sharp. So if I want the D sharp natural minor scale, I'll just play the same F sharp major scale but starting from D and ending with D. So that will be D sharp, F, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp. So now that is the D sharp natural minor scale. So now that's one way of getting the natural minor scale, is by looking for the relative major scale. For example, if we are looking for the D sharp minor natural minor scale, we realize that F sharp is the relative major. So we play all the notes of F sharp, but starting from D sharp and ending with D sharp. The second way to look at it is to look at it theoretically. So what does it mean? Let's go back, for example, to our C natural minor scale. C, D, D sharp, F, G, G sharp, A sharp, C. Okay? Now, the theory behind this scale is thinking in terms of the C major scale. We have 1, 2, flat 3, because in the major we have a 3 here as E, but now we have a flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. So we have a flat 3, okay? We have a flat 6, and we have a flat 7. So the formula of a natural minor scale is 1, in terms of numbers, 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, back to 1. Okay? Now let's apply that thinking in another key. For example, I'm looking for A natural minor scale. So remember, I have flat 3, I have flat 6, and I have flat 7. Okay? So based on the A major scale first of all is A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and A. Now I need to do a flat 3, which will be C. From C sharp, 3 is C sharp, so we'll have C. Again, I'll need to do a flat 6, so that F sharp will come down to F, and a flat 7, G sharp, will come down to G. So we have 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. So 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. So if you don't want to think in terms of relative major, relative minor, you can now use that formula to get the natural minor scale in any key. Okay. A final example, for example, if I'm looking for, let's go back to that D sharp, for example. So I first look at the D sharp major scale, because from the major I'll get all the numbers, and then I'll know that I'll flatten the 3rd, flatten the 6th, and flatten the 7th. So D sharp major scale is D sharp, F, G, G sharp, A sharp, C, D, D sharp. So we have 1, we have 2, okay? And then we have flat 3, G down to G flat or F sharp. So 1, 2, flat 3, okay? 4, 5, okay? Flat 6, flattening that C, bringing it down to B, flat 6. And then flat 7, flatten the 7, which is D, to D flat or C sharp, then 1, which is D sharp. So we have 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. Okay. Now the fingering that works best for this is finger 2, finger 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can even start with 3. Okay. There are no strict rules on fingering, but there's a fingering that works best for every scale. Okay. So I believe now that clarifies on the construction of the natural minor scale. So 2 ways. Think in terms of the playing the same notes of the relative major, but starting with the 6 and ending with the 6, or using the flat 3, the flat 6, and the flat 7 from the major scale. Okay. Now that we are clear with the notes of the minor scale, now I want us to look at the diatonic chords along a natural minor scale. Okay. And we'll be using the key of C just to illustrate, but we can also look at examples in other keys. So we said from the major scale harmonies, we have 1 as major 7th, 2 minor 7th, 3 minor 7th, 4 major 7th, 5 dominant 7th, 6 minor 7th, and the 7 minor 7th flat 5, or the diminished. Okay. So in the minor scale, we will have, in the natural minor scale, we'll have something different. This is what we'll have, for example, for the C natural minor scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1. So you see that the harmonies of the natural minor is a little bit different because the scale has changed. Okay. So now let's look at the diatonic chords, or the numbers in a natural minor scale. So let's start from number 1. Number 1 will be a minor 7th chord. So in this case, we have C minor 7th, C, D sharp, G, and A sharp. If you're still having problems constructing these, major scales and these extended chords, the major 7th, the dominant 7th, and all, please get my beginner's course, because that is already covered there. This is now for people who are now over that section in the minor harmonies. Okay, so the first chord is the C minor 7th chord. So the first position on a natural minor scale is occupied by a minor 7th chord. So that is C minor 7. Okay. The second position on the natural minor scale is occupied by a minor 7th flat 5. Minor 7th flat 5. So in this case, the second note of the C natural minor scale is a D. So we have a D minor 7th, D, F, A, and C, but with a flat 5. What is the 5 of D? That A. Okay? From the D major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A is the 5 of D. Okay? So we have a D minor 7th, but with a flat 5. So that A flat. So the second chord is occupied by a minor 7th flat 5. This is also usually called a half diminished chord. Half diminished or minor 7th flat 5. Okay. I like calling it minor 7th flat 5 because I can quickly see the numbers. Okay. Because I know all the scales. Now the third chord is a major 7th chord. So in this case we have D sharp major 7th, which is D sharp, G, A sharp, and D. The fourth chord is a minor 7th chord, and in this case we have F minor 7th, which is F, G sharp, C, and D sharp. The fifth chord is a dominant 7th chord, and in this case we have G dominant 7th, which is G, B, D, and F. The seventh chord is the first chord is minor 7th. The second chord is minor 7th flat 5. The third chord is major 7th. The fourth chord is minor 7th. The fifth chord is a minor 7th chord. Okay? The fifth chord is minor 7th. Then the sixth chord is a major 7th chord. In this case, we have G sharp, major 7th, G sharp, C, D sharp, and G. Okay, the sixth chord. Then the seventh chord is a dominant 7th chord. In this case, we have A sharp dominant 7th or B flat dominant 7th, which is A sharp, D, F, and G sharp. Okay. So those are the, of course, on the eighth one, you'll go back to your C, the C minor 7, chord number 8, which is the same as chord number 1. So we have number 1, minor 7th, number 2, minor 7th flat 5, number 3, major 7th, number 4, minor 7th, number 5, minor 7th, number 6, major 7th, number 7, dominant 7th, number 8, minor 7th. Okay? And number 8 is the same as number 1. All right? So that is the number system of a natural minor scale. Let's look at a different key so that we can understand this concept in a better way. Let's go, for example, to key E. Okay? But I'm thinking of the C sharp minor scale, which is the relative minor of E. So we are basically on the C sharp natural minor scale. So I'll build this up using the E major scale. So the notes of E major scale are E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and E. Okay? So the first note of the C sharp minor scale, C sharp, second note, D sharp, third note, E, fourth note, F sharp, G sharp, the fifth one, sixth one is A, seventh one is B, C sharp is 8 or back to 1. Okay. So now what are the chords? The first chord, let me just move this a little bit. Okay. That's the first chord. My C sharp minor 7. Remember, the first position is occupied by a minor 7. So in this case, I'll have C sharp minor 7. The next chord, C sharp to D sharp, will be a minor 7th flat 5. So D sharp minor 7th is D sharp, F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp. Flat 5, the 5 of D sharp is A sharp. Okay? From the D sharp major scale. 5, flat 5. So that will come down to A. So I'll have D sharp minor 7th flat 5. That A sharp comes down to A. Then the third chord is a major 7. So I'll have E major 7. The fourth chord is a minor 7th. I have F sharp minor 7. Okay, F sharp, A, C sharp, and E. So, and then the fifth chord is a minor 7th. I have G sharp minor 7th, G sharp, B, D sharp, and F sharp. The sixth chord is a major 7th, A major 7th, A, C sharp, E, and G sharp. The seventh chord is a dominant 7th chord. I have B dominant 7th, which is B, D sharp, F sharp, and A. Back to the 8th or the 1, which is C sharp minor 7th. So what are the diatonic chords of a C sharp natural minor scale? Number 1, C sharp minor 7th, D sharp minor 7th flat 5 or D sharp half diminished. Number 3, we have E major 7th. Number 4, we have F sharp minor 7th. Number 5, we have G sharp minor 7th. Number 6, we have A major 7th. Number 7, we have the B dominant 7th. And number 8, we have this back to the C sharp minor 7th, which is actually our 1. Okay? So those are the diatonic chords. And diatonic simply means between the tonics. Okay? And it means these are chords which are obeying or which are moving along a specific scale. Because, you know, we have chords which move outside the scale. Okay? So those are non-diatonic chords. For example, if you are in a song in the key of C and you have this chord here, a flat 7, in this case, which is B flat major 7, a B flat major, okay? Then to the 4, which is F, then to G, which is 5, then back to 1. This B flat is non-diatonic because it is not, B flat is not a note along the C major scale. It is a note which is off the scale, so it's a non-diatonic chord, okay? But diatonic chords are those chords which are moving along a specific scale or obeying the harmony of a specific scale, right? So practice now the harmonies of the natural minor scales in different keys. Now that's the assignment that you have. Pick any key and then try to build those diatonic chords along that key, okay? A final example maybe on this section is maybe I'll take a key like A. Maybe I want to play the numbers or the chords along the A natural minor scale. So first of all, I have my A natural minor scale, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay. So my first chord is a minor 7th chord. So I have A minor 7th, which is S, C, E, and G. My next chord is a minor 7th flat 5. B minor 7th is that, B, D, F sharp, and A. So minor 7th flat 5, flatten that F sharp, which is the 5 of B, bring it down to F. So I have B, D, F, and A. My third chord is a major 7th, C major 7th. My fourth chord is a minor 7th, D minor 7th. My fifth chord is a minor 7th, E minor 7th. My sixth chord is a major 7th, F major 7th. My seventh chord is a dominant 7th, G dominant 7th chord. My eighth chord is back to A minor 7th, okay? So practice it until it becomes very normal, the way, you know, the harmonies of a natural, you know, on a natural minor scale, 1 is major, 4 is major, 5 is major, 2 is minor, 3 is minor, 6 is minor. Let that be the same way you also think about these harmonies of the natural minor scales, okay? And so also, I would like you to refer to the notes that I have given. They contain all the notes of the natural minor scale. If you look at the PDF document, you'll get the notes of all the natural minor scales. So you don't have to make any mistake. You can always practice and refer to the notes that accompany this course. So let's move to the next section of our course, which is the harmonies or the diatonic chords along a harmonic minor scale.